Yo, 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 yo. Oh, shit. My bad. Yes, I pulled an academics. Look, we got some interesting developments in the whole Iceman thing, man. We got 3 brand new cryptic posts from Drake. And the first thing I thought of when I saw this, I'm pretty sure when he does the post in this particular style right here, it means we're getting an episode. Episode 4 is very close. If not tomorrow. Something's coming in the next 48 hours for sure. Something big, right? I think it's going to be an episode. I really do. I think we're getting episode 4 because most of the post he did, now we could look back. I don't want to misquote myself, but I'm pretty sure. So he posted 3, not even as slides. And we're going to get into these cryptic posts and maybe try to decode what they could mean. Obviously, we can only guess, right? But look, I've been saying since Family Matters pretty much that I feel like if you're a fan of Drake and you've been rocking with Drake, I feel like we will be on the right side of history. We'll be on the right side of history for sure. So take that as you will. But I'm pretty sure the last time we got a post like that. Now he promoted he promoted episode 3 like this, which was different than the other 2. The other 2 were very similar to the one that we just got, like this. Which one? He had with the green, like the green outline around it, and then also, what did I miss? Was exactly the same. So the last time we saw him post in that style was around new music and episodes. So I feel like we're probably going to get both. We're probably going to get both very soon. Now, I'm pretty sure he did both episodes. I think one was on a Friday, if not a Saturday. But I know the other 2 were definitely on Thursday nights, Friday really, right? Or possibly Thursday. I'm going to have to look back. But nonetheless, I believe 3 of these posts indicate that we're getting something. Now, let's take a look at what they say, right? And I feel like some of these posts, to understand them, like once I was reading through them, some of it reminds me of the other episodes that we got and my interpretation of what I thought was going on. So he says, here is something you can all criticize and pretend. Now, I'm trying to figure out if he's leaving words out and we're supposed to decode this, or if this is just how it is, right? Here's something you can all criticize and pretend. See, and then it's like a blank, does not make you feel better than everything. So it's broken English, right? So if we could here's something you can all criticize. Now, when you think about that, we can't overlook the way that media, content creators, and everyone else, the way that they criticize Drake. I've said for a long time on this channel that I feel like Drake is so unfairly critiqued more than any other artist of all time. I feel like he's very unfairly judged and criticized more than any artist throughout time, for sure, right? So, and pretend it does not make you feel better. So, you could see that it says Iceman here. Does not make you feel better than everything. It's interesting. So that was the first one, right? And I want you guys to tell me what you think about it too, right? In the comments. Here's another one. Please stop mistaking chat for fact, reels for reality, streaming for flow, and likes for love. Thank you. So now I look at this in a bunch of different ways. First off, look at the place, look at the world we're living in, right? I've been told that Coachella is one of the worst places to go because influencers got it took over with these exact things that we're talking about here. Now, I don't think that's what he's talking about in particular. I think he's being a little bit more niche because you got to keep in mind there were full podcasts and things created to hate on Drake. You also got to consider what he talked about in his lawsuit, how a lot of these reels and paid promo and payola and bots. So when you think about chats for fact, yeah, some people are actually paid for their opinions. Some people are paid on the radio for their opinions. That's been going on for years. Reels for reality. This is how music grows, right? Like, and all you got to really do is if you find the right 10 influencers or something on TikTok and make sure they pay them to react to your music, that could blow the song up on TikTok very quickly because other people will start using the sound. So Reels for reality, I kind of think of it in that way, right? Streaming for flow. So again, I think that ties into the bots, likes for love. None of this is real. None of this is real, right? And I also think it ties into the fact that a lot of people were claiming Drake was done. A lot of people were saying that his career was over. And if you went online, if you were on Twitter, especially Twitter or YouTube at a particular point, it almost seemed believable until you went outside, until you went to the club, until you even turned on the radio, until you went anywhere. You would see that none of that's really reality, right? When you look at Drake at Wireless Festival, coming hot off the beef, and you know, people were literally saying this guy was done. He packed it out for three full nights. So none of that's real. You know, there's been talks about bots on Twitter and everything else, and I believe it. I think Twitter has a bot problem in general. But I do believe that there were paid bots and shit like that against Drake. I 100% believe that. So that's how I'm taking that. That's how I'm taking that, right? Now, is he going to be exposing some of this shit? Because the way I look at this is pretty cryptic. And it almost looks like clearly a revenge arc. Like, I feel like if he's going to be doing stuff like this, there kind of has to be some kind of payoff. Like, we got to get something. Unless this is tied to the lawsuit and him hoping the appeal goes through. But I feel like this is a build-up for something. I don't know about you guys. There's got to be a build-up for something. Right? So this was the second post he made. And lastly, we got, when I call your bluff, make sure you answer me on that first ring. Now, the first thing I thought about when I saw this is another phone reference, another call reference. I've always said from the beginning that I felt like Nokia, of all tracks, I felt like one day we would find out that this track has some sort of hidden meaning behind it. Nokia. I think it means something else. I think we'll find it out eventually, but I think there's something layered in there. Then there's the fact that phones have been a major theme with Drake. When I call your bluff, make sure you answer on that first ring. We already saw, the Bell payphone outside of Drake's house. No one knows why it's there. Still a mystery to this day why this is there. So actually, I think I could type it in here. No one's really figured out why. Oh, it comes up Drake Bell. Drake payphone, Toronto.
There's a payphone booth that has been installed right outside of Drake's house. Someone did manage to grab a few photos and videos of the guys actually installing the phone booth. There is an actual phone inside, but could this be a hint towards new music that's coming out? Or maybe some sort of brand deal between Drake and Bell? Wait, Drake Bell. I live in Toronto, so 1,000 likes on this video and I'll go check it out myself.
So yeah, so that kind of popped up mysteriously, and then even more recently, Drake did the 416 Bell reference. Now, 416 is Toronto's area code. But there's been so many references to phones and owls on phone lines and different things, Nokia, that something seems to be centered around a phone call or something. There's got, something got to connect eventually. So he this is the last thing he put out here. Was the this is my post right here actually on it. See, you could see I made this post what was it? March 13th, so about a month ago, right? He posted this 416 which was Bell again. And then we got the owls on the phone lines, we got the Nokia phones, we got even on Plot Twist there were owls on phone lines. If you go to Plot Twist, oh no. If you go to Plot Twist, you'll see that these phone lines keep coming up. Plot Twist. Now, he hasn't posted, the last post that he made on here, he kind of abandoned this after a while. Sorry, I got a bit of a cold. May 8th, 2025 was the last time he posted to Plot Twist, but amongst this, you'll see a lot of references to phone stuff. Here's the owl right here on the phone line, and this was a visual we saw at the end of Nokia. So I don't know if I'm tripping, but I do think there's something around phone calls, recording something for sure. But what do you guys think? Shout out to Mystic G for the $2. It's about to be a cold summer. I hope so, man. I'm really starting to get excited at this point. And like something tells me that there is this buildup is for something. Otherwise, it'll be pretty anticlimactic. So I feel like episode 4 is going to be crazy. I think it's going to be crazy. May 15th. What do you guys think? What do you guys make about these posts? When I call your bluff, make sure you answer me on that first ring. Call your bluff, obviously pointing out lies. We got the Pinocchio theme. Pinocchio obviously lies, his nose grows. It's something that I really wanted to look back at, where even my own breakdowns, not of episode 1, but episode 2, there was a huge theme around doors in episode 2, right? And here's my breakdown right here. And he had Pinocchio written on the door. Titled, let's see. Let me skip ahead a bit. Behind the tree with a red trailer behind him that reads deliveries up to 27 million, all in a day's work, with the word work blocked out. The scene that we're looking at in this, there is even a point in the character of Pinocchio. He is a wooden puppet fabricated by the man, and a fairy grants him the powers to be able to move around like a real person. From here, he desires nothing more than to be a real boy, and there is even a point in the 1940 Disney movie where Pinocchio is manipulated. 10 from Yana. Thank you for the 10. Much appreciated. I see the narrative changing. Maul was right. He said tides are shifting, but Ray Daniels said, nah, it's just his algorithm. I think it's the lack of bots. Also, humans are fickle and flock to what's hot. I think it's a combination of everything you just said, but yeah, obviously the tides are shifting, man. Like Drake has been not just the most popular, but like the most successful, highest streamed artist for a very long time, right? He's hip hop's golden boy, regardless of what you say. And the fact that he hasn't put out a solo studio album in this long, yeah, people are excited for it. Twitter's not real life, but I've noticed a major shift. I've noticed shifts in a lot of the media personalities who hated on Drake. Now they're coming over to this side. And I explained this before. You mentioned the algorithm. That's a fact, because right now it pays to cover Drake in a favorable way, right? It pays to talk about the rollout, and it pays to say kind things about Drake. It wasn't like that 2 years ago. Back then, we were in the hate era for Drake, where every day you got hundreds, literally hundreds of hate pieces on YouTube or throughout the internet about Drake. That's what paid people. That's not working anymore. So yeah, we're past that era. We're past that weird hater era that I believe some people hope would stick around. I think some people thought that it would stay like that forever, but they're totally wrong. Totally wrong, right?
Related into performance.
Let me see here.
The beef started.
There's a lot tied to this lawsuit too, chat. Like I don't know. I don't know if this is tying into the lawsuit, but I will say this. I do think we're getting an episode 4 in the next 48 hours. I think it's coming very soon. The fact that he just posted this in this style, something's coming. It's going to be new music or it's going to be an episode or both. Probably both. Every track that he's rolled out so far has happened through an episode. I believe he's going to continue that. He said he was going to continue that, right? Why do owls? Yes, sir. So are you guys getting pretty hyped? Like, what do you guys make of these cryptic posts? I think we got to kind of stay on guard at this point because I believe more is coming very soon too, sooner than later. Let's see. By the way, if you want me to review anything in particular, you could always go to the Twitter community. Let's see. We have a What's the Dirt Twitter community, and you can post whatever you want in there, and I'll take a look at it. So I'm just going to check the community very quickly to see if there's anything. I really want to get to these cryptic posts. About to be a cold summer. Okay, so this is some new news right here. Attorney General Ken Paxton launches investigation into major music streaming platforms, including Spotify and Apple Music, over payola schemes. Interesting. Interesting timing, right? Interesting timing. Let's look it up. Let me look this up. Payola Spotify. I want to find the actual Spotify, Apple Music, and other streamers face Texas probe over alleged song promotion bribes. So they got Amazon in here, Pandora, YouTube Music. It says here that the Texas attorney has launched an investigation into major streaming platforms over allegations they accepted undisclosed payments to boost certain tracks, artists, or other content. The probe targets Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Amazon Music, and YouTube Music, according to a press release from Paxton's office. Paxton's office said the investigation will examine whether the companies entered into an undisclosed financial arrangement with record labels, promoters, and third parties to boost visibility, playlist placement, or recommendation rankings in violation of Texas law. The attorney described the alleged conduct as a modern version of payola, the practice of accepting compensation in exchange for preferential promotion without proper disclosure. Music artists deserve to compete on a level playing field, not one distorted by bribes, and listeners deserve transparency in what they're being recommended. This is interesting. This is very interesting. All on the day that Drake's dropping all this stuff. You know, this very well could coincide with some of this stuff too. I mean, I would love for all this shit to get exposed. I know a lot of you guys would too. $4.99 from History 31294. On Reddit, 3 Carousel did a really interesting Nokia breakdown on it 2 weeks ago. Okay, we'll have to check that out. Appreciate the 5. But yeah, maybe heads are starting to roll. I mean, I always wondered what happened with, remember when Rory said there was this Radio Rico happening?
Where it was announced.
And it just never Radio Rico. And we never got anything. Right here.
Fabricating?
Let me see. Radio Rico, Rory, and Mal. We never heard anything after. Rory said he saw paperwork for it. I'm trying to find a clip. I'm sure I could find it on Reddit. Rory and Mal, Radio Rico. That kind of came up and then just disappeared.
No worry now.
Shameless plug, everybody, please.
I'll find it. Did Rory say it? Radio Rico case right here. We never heard anything back from this.
So, in the midst of me rolling out the N-word, I kind of want my media flowers, man. I kind of feel like Maul and I don't get a lot of credit for the stuff that we break. There's a lot of news that we have been the first people.
I agree with that. I actually agree with that. I do think they break a lot of things, and they deserve more credit, definitely.
To talk about it, to break that news, and then it catches legs, and everyone just goes to the mass media people like they were the ones that broke the shit. I've been telling y'all that a RICO case was coming with radio.
Right.
We just skipped over that.
No, I mean you didn't really want to speak on it.
Now.
You didn't really. You alluded to it. You kind of flirted with it, but we didn't really go into it.
I wanted to wait for the full report to actually come out.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a long day for some of you guys.
How long of a day?
I got a.
So we never heard anything about this after, and this was what? That was almost 8 months ago that happened. We never heard anything, right? So with these, we're getting Cryptic post. We haven't had anything else happen with Iceman since, well, I'm sure you guys heard that the fire department actually decided to destroy Drake's ice sculpture. So I think it's gone now.
Fire crews are now working on melting Drake's giant publicity stunt, promoting that release date. Of course, it's taking place right here in downtown Toronto.
Yeah, CP24's Courtney Hills has been live by Dundas and Bonn. And what a different scene than yesterday morning, Courtney, when you were also there. Now the fire crews have been called. Usually when you're doing a hit with us with a fire crew, it involves putting out a fire. This time, kind of the opposite is happening. Yeah. So a very interesting situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's unusual. I think it kind of fits what we're covering here this morning. This has been something the whole city has been buzzing about for the last couple of days. This structure in the middle of downtown Toronto inside the release date for Drake's album. You guys mentioned, we learned yesterday, May the 15th. The fans have been so excited. But what we're hearing now is from fire crews who are sharing safety concerns. They said overnight that there have been a number of complaints about all of this. People who were worried about fans walking around with flames.
I mean, how long have they been dousing this thing with hot water? They're using hot water on it, and it's still, like, this would have took forever to melt on its own, man. It probably would have took over a month or longer. Like, how long have they been doing this?
Flammable material, people who had pickaxes, people who were climbing the structure, and that's why they're stepping in and they're melting what's left of this. So the PR stunt is done, and again, this ice likely would have sat here for a couple of days, but just the concern of people, again, attempting to...
I think longer than a couple days. I think longer than a couple days for sure.
Melt more of the ice or getting on top of it. They're here now. They say they're essentially getting rid of it. It's, again, a talker this morning. We've been along Dundas for the last couple of hours. People are still showing up, taking photographs. They say they heard about it. They just had to see it. Here's what they're saying. What do you think of the fact that the fire crew said there were safety concerns, so they have to melt it down because people were climbing it and walking around with pickaxes? What do you think of that?
That thing is crazy because this one will... the youth, the youngsters taking as a crazy thing, so they don't have any safety. I saw the videos, people are climbing it, and that thing is not good.
I mean, I feel like Drake's always going to try and find a way to make a spectacle. Same thing when he had all the explosions out of Downsview. I mean, at the end of the day, Toronto loves an event, and so this ends up being an event.
Ice will melt. Yeah. We just lost a lot of winter snow, so should be okay.
So Canadian, eh? No, but like the one thing I think about here is Drake probably anticipated this structure to stay there for a while. Like I heard that he spent over $1 million to get this thing set up. So I think he probably would have preferred to have it sit longer. But at the end of the day, I think it served its purpose for the rollout. I mean, we've been seeing this was so viral that now even companies are marketing their businesses with ice sculptures. Just check this out. Check this out. I saw this earlier. Here we go. So big companies like Gymshark are posting things, their clothes inside of like ice cubes or like inside of an ice cube. We got Coors Light. You know, they did the and mind you, this is all AI, but you know, they're marketing Coors Light in a pretty cool way. We got Young LA. I think they're like a fitness company. They did their own little spin on it. We got the New York Giants draft pick names inside. So they're doing it. I also saw way more. I saw a lot of other ones besides this that kind of jumped on the trend. But yeah, Drake definitely, I think even if it is melted, I think he definitely, it played its course, right? It did what it needed to do. It did what it needed to do. A lot of hype. Now, Anthony Fantano, as you guys know, he decided to make a bold claim a few days back that Iceman was dropping. He had an exclusive source. He claimed that Iceman was coming out within, I think, 36 hours.
Drake, Iceman, it is happening. Based on my exclusive source, Iceman will be dropping in the next 36 hours. Keep an eye out. Keep an ear out. Iceman in 36 hours. You're welcome.
So he does this, and it goes crazy viral. Because at the end of the day, he is the biggest and most successful music reviewer, I would say by a landslide, by a significant margin. I can't think of anyone who is even close to him in terms of numbers, popularity, whatever. People really do wait for this guy's reviews. So when he says something like this, people believed it. People believed that he had an actual source. I wasn't even second guessing that he might know someone at a label that would tell him something, because I think he probably does have relationships with labels. But anyways, they got into academics called him out for this, right? Academics called him out.
So Fantano, we love the fools. Fantano put on his TikTok, he was cloud chasing, seeking some attention. This is what he said, Chad. Check this out.
And it turns out, in hindsight, Ack was right that he was cloud chasing and looking for attention, and you'll soon see why that is. But he was bang on the money with that.
Drake, Iceman, it is happening. Based on my exclusive source, Iceman will be dropping in the next 36 hours. Keep an eye out. Keep an ear out. Iceman in 36 hours. You're welcome. Drake, Iceman, it is happening. Based on my exclusive source, Iceman will be dropping in the next 36 hours.
I'm here to tell you, Fantano is a loser and never write about anything, even reviews. Okay, this guy is a guy who got lucky to be one of the most prolific people reviewing music because he was one of the first, doing nothing special. He was good at hate, right? He used colorful language that made people feel like he was really reviewing albums and shit like that. Guy who never really was into, I would say, the majority of hip hop. The guy's just a fucking loser. Okay, straight up, a cuck. We've seen like some videos of like, we don't even want to get into it. But the point is this. He came out saying he had some exclusive source. Iceman was dropping. Chat, I'm here to tell you, just like how it was planted, okay?
So Act claimed that the info was planted, right? Like that someone fed him the wrong information, and that's why it was an actual real source, but they just fed him the wrong info, like they did with the daughter, right? Now, Fantano came with a full video today explaining that he made it up. He just made it up.
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time to get icy. With, of course, Iceman. Shaken, and he is still the #1 rapper. He is unstoppable. He is the best. He is the greatest. Kendrick has not changed that in any way, shape, or form. But simultaneously, if Drake didn't feel like his public image was impacted negatively in any way, why was he suing UMG?
It's because they called him a pedophile.
Clearly, the man came away from the battle feeling some type of way.
Yeah, but you would too if someone called you a pedophile. Really though. Like, I'm not a big fan of the lawsuit either, but if someone called me a pedophile and it went crazy viral and it wasn't true, I would sue that person 100%. So would he, so would most people, because no one wants that on their jacket. That part I get. And I think if you look at it from any other perspective, you should get it too. It makes sense. You can't have people believing you're a pedo. You just can't have that.
But listen, it's 2026. I'm not going to come on here and waste another minute or 5 minutes talking to you about this goddamn battle that is over and done with. Spot, or else it will seem like he has fallen from grace and he's not as successful as he used to be, and his reign over hip-hop and the music industry is pretty much over. And with the way the music industry currently works, that means not only does the music need to be good and widely appealing, but the rollout needs to be good too. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but for the most part, the Iceman rollout so far has not been good.
It's been amazing, man. What do you mean? What does he mean by that? Like, how has it not been great? Like, the streams were insanely creative. The fans loved it. It all went crazy. Like, you talked about it. Everybody talked about it. You might have shit on it, but that's what you do. Like, people like Fantano, they know, and I just mentioned this. Particular people know that there's way more money and way more value in hating on Drake than saying anything good about him. He knows that if he gives Drake's album a 3 out of 10 or whatever, or a not good, or he knows that's going to go crazy. And really, it just feeds this whole situation of him making up the fact that he had a source and putting it out. That just goes to show how far he's willing to go to get viewership and get paid and go viral. He's willing to make things up. He's willing to compromise his values. So when you see him review an album, how can you know for sure if he's telling the truth or if he's just doing it for numbers?
Not been good at all. Either certain announcements around the title or release or content of this album are falling flat, being met with a lack of interest, not to mention getting overshadowed by headlines of the various lawsuits and legal battles that...
That's bullshit, bro. Nobody's talking about the lawsuit. Like, literally nobody is talking about it. Nobody. There might be a couple people on YouTube right now who are talking about it, but outside of that, the headlines of the lawsuit is not doing what the headline did 2 years ago when it first broke. Barely anyone's talking about it at this point.
Drake is currently embroiled in, whether it has to do, again, with this UMG defamation thing or the various gambling to-dos Drake is tied up in.
Which no one's talking about either. Literally no one.
As an aside here, it's kind of a sign that Champagne Papi is spreading himself a little bit too thin, that he has all of these orbiting problems and issues that are distracting from what people should be focusing on.
See, this is what's called like planting narratives, right? Like, he's just literally making things up. He's bringing things up. He's bringing these things up because it looks negative for Drake, but the things he's bringing up, like the steak lawsuit, no one's talking about any of that. Like, Iceman is going crazy right now. Everyone wants Iceman.
Instead, and that's just simply the music. So you've got that, and also these different episodic visual short film pieces interspersed with bits of new music that Drake has been dropping that haven't really been getting rave reactions outside of his core fan base. Even guys like Kai Cenat, a dude who is absolutely incentivized as one of the most popular streamers out there with connections to big entertainment industry figures, even he would be incentivized to like come on stream and pretend that all the Iceman episodes and visuals are good, but even he can't muster up a positive reaction to how boring and uninteresting they are.
They're spamming hidden messages that's dragged out to make it look artistic. The biggest waste of my God!
Look, I get it that people had their complaints about the timing in between, right? I get it that people found it boring. But once they explain the challenges behind this and you really zoom out and look at what they were able to pull off, this is what makes me realize episode 4 is going to be a complete movie. Because they're really taking everything they've learned and they're incorporating it into the next episode. They've had a lot of time to plan for it, so I'm expecting something really big for episode 4.
I can't fake it. I can't fake it. That was ass.
And then I would say the third prong of this Iceman rollout is maybe the most annoying one. Basically, every Drake-connected media sycophant or stan on social media, week in and week out, talking about how the album is dropping. It's so soon. It's almost here. Freak.
Like, I mean, this is hilarious, by the way. This album cover is crazy. But yeah, I know what he's saying, but no one's really came with like a concrete date. Ack will just pop out and say, Iceman coming, Iceman soon. He's not claiming he heard anything from anyone. He's never gave a concrete date. He's never said anything like it's happening in 48 hours. He's just saying that Iceman's coming, be patient. So I don't think it's a really good example to use Ack for this.
It's so soon. It's almost here. Freak out. Get hype. I've heard it. It's the greatest thing I've ever heard from him. Oh my God. Which, for the length of time this pattern has been repeating, it's actually kind of had the opposite effect in terms of making people more excited for Iceman. And whether it's Drake or people on his team directly instructing this behavior to keep discourse about the album going, or if these people are just merely incentivized by the attention economy on the internet, either way, it's not good. Which is why this past week, merely out of a desire to engage in a little social experiment,
Nah, it wasn't a social experiment, bro. You're trolling, but you're also doing it to go viral. Like, don't lie about it. It's not a social experiment. You're not in science class, bro.
Decided to come online and just say
science class for social experiment. It sounds kind of crazy, but
that I knew Iceman was going to drop this past weekend and that it was going to come out in like 36 hours, and an exclusive source that I had told me this information.
Drake, Iceman, it is happening based on my exclusive source.
Drop until it actually.
So he goes through and talks about how he even talked about, I guess this is maybe his manager or maybe someone that manages him. And he says, what do you think about the concept of me posting to TikTok every day saying Drake is going to drop Iceman in the next 24 hours?
Came out. And I'll also show you my side of a convo that I had over text with Tor.
And then this is another guy, Torre, who literally said Drake's reign is completely done. He's done. He's cooked. I don't even know what happened with this guy after. I haven't seen his content in a while. But I'm not surprised that these guys are besties.
Where I told him, I said that shit yesterday to see how many rap pages would post it. I'm going to announce Iceman is dropping every weekend until it drops. Now, before I get into the why of that, I will stop here to say, actually, quite a few rap pages reposted what I said. Many of which I'm sure were well aware that I most likely didn't personally have that connection to Drake's team in order.
I just think this makes him look bad. I think any review you see this guy do, you should question what his motives are for how he reviews it, the score that he gives it. Because if he's willing to just make things up to go viral, then what makes it so different? What makes you believe he would do anything different for a review?
to say with complete confidence that I knew the album was actually dropping, but posted it anyway because they knew it was going to generate views and traffic and discussion, which then brings us into the why of why I did this, because maybe some of you watching this might think, Anthony, isn't that a little sort of like cynical to be consciously dropping misinformation about an album release date on the internet? And while, yes, it is, simultaneously, this is...
I think the thing is with Fantano is due to, you know, his like back and forth with Drake, and over the years he's given Drake such non-favorable reviews. Like, he's been crazy with some of his reviews. The Drake stans have completely bombarded this dude. Like, if you go on Twitter or wherever, they're on his fucking case big time, right? And I think him doing things like this is just a byproduct of him trying to get back at the fans. It's not even at Drake. He's trying to antagonize the fans more than anything.
What all of Drake's fans have been doing week in and week out, and his team has been actively incentivizing this behavior. Like what I merely did.
I don't know what makes him think that Drake's team is incentivizing the behavior, because Drake hasn't said anything. Drake hasn't said anything. Like, a lot of these people who are saying they're inside sources, and like this happened to me before too, right? Which was like the end cutoff for me, where I was like, I'm never telling anything I hear again, right? But what you got to realize is a source is not really a source if you heard it from one guy, from another guy, from another guy, and he knows Drake. That's not really a source. OVO Maddie with the 2. Yo, Dirt, you should do a Drake iceberg. That's actually a really good video. That would be like 3 hours long, though. A Drake iceberg video would be crazy, but that would be quite the undertaking to do it properly. But anyways, what do you guys think about this? Do you think Fantano is just doing some friendly trolling? Do you think he fucked up his credibility? Do you think you should listen to anything that this guy really has to say about hip-hop in general? Dirt, you hear they're shutting down Twitter communities on May 6th? Oh, really? Well, we'll just have to move it to Discord then. I got a Discord. I don't use it much. Right? I've got a Discord. But yeah, for the community, we'll just move it to Discord. Right? Not even Drake fans. It's people tired of Fantano. His credibility is toast. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who are probably supporting this, right?
To come out on May 15th, I hope.
Oh my God, you lied about Iceman coming out.
I'm sorry, why is that a problem? The entire hype cycle behind this album for the past 4 months has been based on the lie that it's almost out.
This dude would have a toothpick. He is the type of white dude that would have a toothpick for sure.
I'm sorry, why is that a
Everything's adding up.
problem? The entire
You boys lost.
your hype cycle behind this album for the past 4 months has been based on the lie that it's almost out, that it's almost here. Iceman coming soon. Here comes Iceman. Look out for the Iceman. The Iceman's almost here.
I don't give him too much credit.
Here's the Iceman. From every rap page, every proxy account, every Drake glazing commentator on the internet. But when
he's crashing out.
You do it, it's a problem, it's an issue, it's a bad thing. Shut the fuck up. Look, either way, I'm happy because I got what I wanted. We have a release date for the album, and it's going to come out on May 15th, I hope. Because there's literally no reason for it to have taken this long. Like, come on, what do you think? Drake is just working on the album so hard, and that's why it's been delayed.
And I love how he prefaces it. Notorious racist Anthony Fantano is spiraling after backlash for lying about having sources on Drake's Iceman. Yeah, he kind of is. I'm not going to lie. Let's see what else we got on the timeline, chat. We got a 10 from my boy Mystic. Thank you, bro. I think if Fantano was really intending to troll Drake's release date every week until it releases, he wouldn't have immediately made an explanation video the moment he was wrong about the first one. So do you think that he really did have actual info? Like, he really had a valid source? Right? And that they just lied to him and he was fed info? Or I believe him. I think he really did just try to go viral. I think that was the whole point of it. Let me check what my guy Certified Jared. He's been, if you're looking for the most up-to-date Iceman Drake news, this is the guy for sure. What Drake posted today is not a track list. No, not a track list. Can't tell Joseph threw his phone on into Drake's Iceman blocks. This is what remains of the Iceman blocks.
Bro, I don't see it still.
Well, that was pretty dumb to throw your phone in there.
Was that my phone? Or
Buddy, why would you do that?
they see it? I don't know where it's at.
Like, why would you throw your phone in there, brother?
My phone is in the ice.
My phone is in the ice.
Not in there? Ugh. Can I go get it real quick?
Oh, come on, man.
I need to go get my phone real quick.
You could still hear the No Face playing in the background or still people congregating around it.
Bro, I don't see it still. They see it? I don't know where it's at. It's dead ass going.
Anything for clout. So this is the dude that got 50 racks from Drake. I mean, that's a nice little bag to get, 50K. Okay, so these are all the companies here. There's been more. So, you know, we got like this Slurpee company, the banana, you know that banana company? I can't remember the name of them. I can't remember the name, but even the banana, like, you know, we got all these companies are jumping on the, is that MasterCard? That's crazy. This is what you call impact, though, for sure, and influence, no doubt. KFC jumped on the trend. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got. Shout out to the Buzz12 for the subscription. That's pretty much all we got for that's pretty much all we got for today. See what the chat is saying. I always see Drake giving out money. He gives out a lot of money. No doubt. Yeah, the dude came out of nowhere and then opened his shit at Drake's house. Hot water cornbread. Been a minute, man. $2 from Hot Water Cornbread. Dirt, that dude is an idiot. I would have kept that book. He didn't keep it? Yeah, I don't know. Did anybody post like what was inside that book with like the high quality images of what was in there? Or is that all we got is the book? I love Fantano's argument of Drake's album rollout is irrelevant, nobody cares, and does a social experiment about people posting anything related to Iceman for clicks. Yeah, it's like kind of it makes no sense. Bro, ignore user. He's literally outside of Kendrick's New York apartment right now. Sweeter Man had the banana artwork. Okay. Drake's man name would have hunted him down. Someone on Reddit did it. Why did Jared say something was dropping last night? I think he might have been talking about, when I look back, I think he might have been talking about his own thing. Like he's got I'm actually having Jared on stream here in the next couple days probably. We're going to get him on to chop it up. I'm going to start. Is there any other pro Drake creators or people who have been favorable? Anyone that you would like to have on stream as a guest, let me know. I'm bringing on Apox. I'm going to try and get Ak on too. I think me and Ak will probably collab when the album drops. But if there's anyone in particular, I'm thinking about getting Friday Ricky Dredd on. Anyone at all that you're thinking to bring on. Jay, we could probably, we'll bring Jay on again. That's another guy. Iceman season. You know, we could kind of have our own, like, you know, it would be cool. What if we had like a full panel? We could do a full panel if you guys want. Have like 5 or 6 people on at the same time. Screwface? Screwface, I don't think is going to be interested. $2 from Mark McGraw. When do you think Iceman episode 4 is coming? I think it's coming in the next 48 hours. I think something's coming very quickly. Dirt, does this mean Drake will be a free agent after this album? That's the rumor. That's the rumor, right? Pro Kendrick content is centered around Drake. Definitely. First week prediction. I'd say he's going to do between 450 and 500. I'm thinking, right? Yo, Dirt, why didn't you go down to the ice? That 50K could have been yours. I'm about an 8-hour flight away from Toronto. So if I was living in the city, though, I would have been doing some IRL stuff down by that sculpture for sure. It makes me kind of regret living where I do. Maybe I should be closer to Toronto, but it is what it is. I think he streams with Aiden this week. Okay. You should bring Adam Joma on stream. I don't know who that is. Oh, that's you. The guy who... That's you. You think 500K, 600K? I think it'll probably be a 500K, between 450 and 5, depending on what he does next, right? He could push it a lot more than that, depending on what he does with this rollout. No bundles, no vinyls. Yeah, I do think he will be a free agent after this UMG shit. Actually, I was watching some documentaries last night on Prince's history with the record labels and like what he had to go through and how he kind of finessed it. I think there's some things to be learned from what he did. You should bring Mike Hawk on stream. I don't know who that is. Mike Hawk. Oh, come on, man. It took me a second to pick up on what you got me. Kendrick in the house breathing. How many tracks? Not sure. I think it might be a double album though. How about the uncles from Lost in Vegas? I don't have a relationship with those guys. I've never spoke to them before. I could probably reach out. Anyone else you could think of? I mean, it's pretty few and far between here on YouTube for who has really spoken favorably about Drake. It's kind of slim pickings. I was gonna bring Friday Ricky Dredd on. Johnny Manziel. I would love to have Johnny Manziel on, but for more than just Iceman, I would like to talk to him about even have some mental health conversations with him because he's been through quite a bit. I know he has struggles of his own, right? So if I was going to have him on, it would be probably a different topic. Obviously talk about Iceman, but I would love to have Johnny Manziel on. He's a legend. Pro Kendrick is centered around Drake. Y'all wild. Well, I feel like Danny from the stop. Danny's my guy, so I'm down to, you know what? That's a good idea. I should have Danny on. Bring on Morgan Wallen. Don't have a contact with him. Kind of don't want you, Ack, and Grand Wizard on a panel. I could probably bring Gran on. I don't know if Gran, I talk with Gran all the time, but I don't know if Gran really likes being in the public eye like that. I think he kind of likes to lurk in the shadows. I don't think he wants to be, you know what I mean? Do you know anything about people on Twitter and how they're saying something else is coming really soon? I don't know anything. I mean, we could keep refreshing and checking, but I just want to go over the new post that we have for today. Caleb from Twitter. Yeah, I really fuck with Caleb. His channel's great. 100%. That's another guy for sure. Lupe Fiasco has actually given some good insight on Drake's pen. I think Lupe praised Drake, didn't he? With the refresher, some people ain't built for attention. Yeah, some people don't like it. Like I asked It's Skills, actually, I asked him last night because he's Baca's manager, right? And I asked him if he would hop on stream, and he doesn't like being in the public eye either, really. Yeah, Grand never talks, even on Axe stream. Yeah, exactly. Get Chubbs on stream? I don't think I could get Chubbs. I don't have no contact with Chubbs. Chubbs doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to really be getting on anyone's stream. I don't think he's ever done an interview before. Has Chubbs ever done an interview? OVO Chubbs interview. Okay, he's done something before. At the end of the day, I haven't really seen a lot of media from Chubbs. I haven't seen him really on camera a lot talking about anything. Really. But yo, chat, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens, man. I gotta get back to cooking my video. I wanted to cover these things here. I think these really spell out a couple different things. Like, obviously, I think there's an episode coming because of just the style of this post. Usually when he posts this style, that means we're getting an episode. And when you look at the subject matter of it, I can only assume that with this build-up, we can be expecting something big, to hear something big. Because otherwise, what will all this mean? There must be something with it. There's got to be something. I think within the next 48 hours, we get something big. For sure. For sure. With that, chat, I'll be back on probably tonight. If we hear anything else, I'll be back on again. I'm gonna keep doing these lives as new information comes out. Rather than do a video for each new thing, I might as well just do it this way. So anytime anything new happens, you can definitely know that I will be on stream.